Hey there, Capricorn. Welcome to your reading for the week of July 3rd. You have the Page of Wands. It just flew out of the deck. So we will keep that in mind, but definitely could be like some sort of adventure coming in for you. I think that all your readings talk about going towards enthusiasm, so that would be a good idea as well. You have this card that says, life isn't a sprint, it's a long race, and you're not in it just to win it. You have this card that says, change your perspective of the people that are around you and keep an open mind. Yes, I feel like there's, I kind of feel like this is saying, kind of interesting here, Capricorn. I'm getting some sort of message about needing to make sure you don't try to reinvent the wheel. This is very specific, so it might only be for some of you, but it's like if you're taking a class, for example, or if you're following a course about something or whatever, I feel like this is saying do it exactly how it's being taught. Like, don't try to reinvent the wheel. And I don't think that this is saying that you can't. In the future, I feel like it's like saying just get this to work, whatever you're working on. I don't know, that might only be for like literally one of you, but it is popping into my head. You have the Fool, the Seven of Swords, and the Eight of Wands here. So there could be some sort of quick success coming in for you here. I feel like people are seeing you get success. And, I would be careful if you have a past person who's super toxic, because you have the Seven of Swords here. But just like intuitively, I kind of feel like this is you, the Fool, and this is them, that tiny little dog. And I don't think that's a good thing, is what I'm saying here. I feel like for some of you, this past person is basically just kind of like nipping at your heels, being annoying, So if you have a person like that, maybe it's time to block them or put up certain boundaries or do whatever you got to do here. There's clearly a very strong new beginning coming in for you. We go to the High Priestess, to the World. The High Priestess represents something that just has potential. So, what that means is that, she is the card of potential, and we'll talk about that in a minute, but it's like she will receive what she puts into something. So again, make sure to take a full leap of faith if you're starting something new. You do have the Seven of Swords here. Again, I was getting something about do what works, or I don't know, something like that. Normally, what I would say with the Seven of Swords is that, number one, avoid a liar, cheater, stealer. So if you had a person who was a liar, cheater, stealer in the past, I would, make sure to put boundaries up against that person. But what I would also say with the Seven of Swords is that, I feel like it's kind of saying that you need to be careful of, or you need to do what works. Normally, I would say he's stealing these swords from this army in the background. So he's going to war, but he's being tactical. He's not going directly to war with that army. He's stealing their weapons so they can't use them. And, but for whatever reason, I feel like it's saying, don't try to reinvent the wheel. If you're working on something, and again, I'm not saying you can't either. It's like the universe is saying hey, whatever you're working on, do what works right now, get things started, and then change. I don't know. Hopefully that makes sense. You have the Eight of Wands here. Eight of Wands is quick success. We see a lot of momentum here as well. Ace of Wands with the Chariot. I'm a big fan of momentum. It's like sometimes I think, the problem I think with people who are trying to work on things in life, it's not the people that's the problem. It's I think it's how society teaches us, right? Or something like that. It's we think I have to set this goal, and then once I reach the goal, then I'm done. So it's I think a lot of people work on businesses and things like that. They get to a certain point, and then they stop doing what works. Same thing in relationships as well. We definitely all are guilty of this in relationships. People think I'll just be in this relationship, it'll be amazing. But relationships should be work. They are work. You have to keep the romance alive. It's after a person farts in front of you one too many times, you are not in love with them anymore, right? So you have to do things to keep the romance alive. And I feel like nobody understands that. I don't know, maybe I'm a crazy person or whatever, or maybe just the times that we're in. But it's we have to do things to keep the momentum going. So it's whatever you're working on here, Eight of Wands, Chariot, it's you gotta I feel like you have to keep the momentum going. For some of you, I feel like this is a long-term project, mostly because of the World card here. It's there's a long-term achievement that will be a long-term achievement if you keep kind of growing it. With the Fool, you have the Two of Pentacles, work hard, play hard. Everybody gets this week. It seems to me, I've just noticed, throughout the readings that a lot of people have been getting these cards of childlike energy, need to be more playful, things like that. So it could be one of those weeks where the universe is okay, everybody, you're being too serious. Now it's time to go do something else. With the Seven of Swords, you have the Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles is hesitation. It's I feel like you know a lot. This is the curse of knowledge. It's you could know a lot. You probably do know a lot. But again, I feel like that's why it's saying that, it's I've worked with a lot of businesses in my day. it's like I always noticed there were like two people. It's like there were some people who just didn't know anything. They would start a project and they would become ridiculously successful. And then there were people who knew a lot, but then they would struggle with what the beginner did really well with. And again, to me, it's a curse of knowledge. It's like this person over here just knows too much, so they overthink everything. They think they know best, and they don't just try the system, right? The person over here who's a beginner, it's like some beginners, they just do it. They just do exactly what they're supposed to, and they become successful. And again, that's kind of like what I was getting at the beginning of the reading. That's what I'm getting here. Knight of Pentacles is overthinking. He has everything he needs right here, but he has those empty fields behind him. He just needs to get planting seeds. So it's like whatever you're setting out to do here, it's like you will be very successful. We go to the world, an achievement. You have the Chariot here. Also with the Eight of Wands, you have the Judgment card. It's like you're waking up to something, but I feel that you have to kind of like get it moving. The Judgment card is about like waking up to your purpose, and it's also about kind of going through a transformation. So I do feel like you could be going through a transformation here. Next, you have this Thief card and this Mature Man. I would definitely be careful if you have been dealing with a person. I've said this to you before. I know for a fact if you have a past person who you think was sneaky, I definitely feel that they are a sneaky person. I feel like they brought very little to the relationship. And again, this is very specific, so it might only be for some of you, but I would be very careful of like what you are giving to people or a person, with this energy and what information. This person could be like an energy vampire. For others of you, again, I am definitely getting like energy vampire vibes here. So, if you have a person that comes in asking you questions about your business or what you do or whatever, I would be careful who you tell what to this week in general. You have the Three of Cups, the High Priestess, and the Temperance card. So there's definitely like some sort of celebration coming in for you here, or there's some sort of happiness coming in for you. And I also would encourage you to work together with people this week. But again, I would be careful. Like I would make sure that, people that are coming in are equally yoked, as you kids say nowadays, right? It's like I kind of feel we have that warning there with that Thief card, but I feel like it's only a thief that's coming in the sense of an energy vampire if they're not at the same level. And, especially for those of you that are like working on a business project or something like that, like make sure that the person is going to pull their weight. Make sure they're going to do just as much as you are, so that there isn't some sort of imbalance. Definitely popping into my head right here. With the Six of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles is like breadcrumbing energy. This could be in love, but, for some of you feel this is a project. I really feel there's something very important that you're going to be working on soon with the High Priestess. Again, she has no roof over her head, and it represents potential. Like I said, she is, to me, the card of potential, but she kind of represents like unlimited potential. And potential is just potential. Potential means absolutely nothing unless you put the work into whatever has potential. So there are no limits to what she can accomplish. She has to trust her intuition. She has to dig into mysteries as well, which we kind of see here. The moon, number one, you could be dealing with a Pisces as well, but the moon has this path going straight to some mountains in the background. And it kind of says like, regardless of whether you think you know or you don't know what to do if you're working on a project or a business or a relationship, it says see it through to the end, because those mountains are an achievement. The moon is part of the fool's journey, and nowhere on the moon does it say turn around and stop. It says keep going down this path to get to the mountain so you can have the achievement. You have the Temperance card, and it didn't work, but the Temperance card is a card of turning one thing into another. I really feel you are very powerful, like alchemically right now. I feel like you are able to turn one thing into another. So I would make sure you are using your powers of manifestation, alchemy, to turn whatever situation you want in your life around. Just that simple. Let's see here, Capricorn. With the Three of Cups, you have the Queen of Cups here. You really need to listen to your heart. Again, I feel like if you look at all the past bozos in your life, all the past issues and problems, it's like your heart told you something. And I feel like you really have learned or need to learn. For most of you, I feel like you have learned this lesson. It's like it doesn't even want to focus. It's like the universe is saying they already know. So I feel like every time you've gotten into trouble with yourself, it's because you didn't learn. I feel like you're a giver. Six of Pentacles can be overgiving, and, maybe you're just a giver and you always give to people. And I feel like this is saying it's time to kind of nurture yourself. With the High Priestess, you have the Nine of Wands. Yes, I would protect your ideas, for sure. You have that Thief card, Nine of Wands. I mean, if you have a big idea, I would be very careful who you share it with. I would get it to a certain point before you start sharing your ideas. I would make sure that before you talk about your ideas and things like that, that you're careful who you share them with. Get them to a certain point before you share anything. And again, same thing with momentum as well. It's like if you're constantly experimenting, then it doesn't matter what the competition does, right? Number one, I don't even worry about competition, but I get tons of comments of people that are like, this person copies all your titles and all this other stuff, and like, number one, I don't care. It's YouTube. Everybody copies everybody's titles. Number one. Number two, it's like by the time someone copies my titles that they think are my best titles, it's like I've already started doing a different type of titles. Like it doesn't even matter because I'm constantly doing this right here. I maintain my momentum. I am always changing. I'm always testing new things, trying new things. So trust me, the competition can't even keep up, right? Look at my numbers, right? That's all you have to do. And again, I don't even care. Like I don't care what anyone does. So I just focus on myself. That's all I do. I don't worry about anybody else. I worry about what I can control, and that's it. And again, I'm not saying this to brag or anything. I'm saying this because I feel like that's what you need to do right here with the Eight of Wands in the Chariot. And to me, it's flattering. They say that what do they say about about people copying you? It's the highest form of flattery or whatever. So to me, I don't even care. But what I would say here is I would focus and here you go with the Temperance card. You have the Queen of Swords. You will get what you focus on. She has normally clouds halfway up her body. She sees the future clearly now. She finally sees things clearly for the first time. So pay attention to what you are seeing. Next, in the area of the unexpected, you have this anchor. It says stability and security. You have this ocean. It says distance and journey. I feel like some of you could be traveling kind of like unexpectedly here, Capricorn. Maybe when you didn't think you would, be able to travel, or you wouldn't move or something like that. So, it's like maybe some of you have been hoping to like take a vacation, for example. And it's like now you can. And maybe you didn't think you would be able to. So I kind of get that popping into my head. I also feel like some of you are just seeing more movement in growth with this Six of Pentacles. You have the Six of Pentacles, the Moon, and the World. The Six of Pentacles is my card of planting seeds. So it kind of encourages like growth and expansion. It encourages you to try something as well, especially when you have the Knight of Pentacles in a reading like you do. The Knight of Pentacles kind of has those empty fields. The Six of Pentacles says plant seeds behind you because they will grow. So I feel for a lot of you, it's time for you to like plant seeds in a direction in your life. This could be starting a new project, new business. It's definitely something you've been thinking about. It's probably something you've been daydreaming about as well with the Moon. It's something very uncertain. So it's like if you want to start a new business, you're not sure of the direction. If it's a new relationship, same thing. Maybe you're not sure how it's possible. You have the Chariot, so it might involve travel. You have the World, might involve travel. But I kind of feel like the Six of Pentacles says take the smallest step, and this is the time that we are in. Again, I say this all the time, and people always say you repeat yourself. I'm like, damn straight. I'm going to be saying this for the next 20 years, so buckle up. Because, literally the easiest way to be successful is the Six of Pentacles. Why do I repeat myself? Well, number one, it's showing up in the cards. Don't shoot the messenger. Number two, because it's like people need to hear it. I think it's simple advice. Usually, simple advice just goes like this, right over our heads. And I'm guilty of this. I'm not calling you out, Capricorn, right? I hear something simple, I'm like, oh, no, it can't be that easy. Like, trust me, I'm right there with you. And that's why I repeat it, because I need to hear it as well. But literally, I feel like all we have to do is take the small steps towards the things that we dream about, that we want, and we need to pay attention to give and take. Like if we put energy into a project, if we get something back, that's the universe saying, yes, you're going the right direction, keep going this way. So we have to pay attention to like our inspirations, little clues, things that pop up, and that's how we're going to be guided towards an achievement right here. So I feel like you're being guided towards an ultimate achievement. This is your card, by the way, the World, so you're coming up in a very strong position here, but I also feel like you need to trust your guidance. I feel like you need to trust where you are being guided to as well. So move in this direction, towards the World, towards success, towards, some sort of abundance or something like that. Let's see where this is going. With the Six of Pentacles, you have the Strength card. Yes, I feel like you've been patient, and now you're starting to see results. Strength is something that you work on every single day. So, I gave you the example of the titles. I work on my titles every single day. They're always changing. They're always different, right? And so I feel like, and that's something that really helps me continue to grow. If I stop doing it, I stop growing. And, I kind of feel like the same thing here with the Strength card. It's like maybe you need a daily practice or something you work on, like in your business, your career, or whatever. With the Moon, you have the Five of Pentacles. I do feel like you are fearing that if you move in a new direction that you'll be left out in the cold. I feel like this is your biggest fear, is the Five of Pentacles, poverty, or being left out in the cold, or losing all your money or something like that. And I do feel there's a little bit of a risk that you need to be taking or could be taking, and I would take the risk. With the World, you have the Sun, a lot of happiness. I love readings that go from the Moon to the Sun. To me, it suggests that you're actually leaving a moon period. A moon period is a period of time where, again, you're uncertain, things are more up in the clouds, you're more guided by your emotions, or you're more kind of like emotional in some ways. And the sun is warmth and it's guidance and clarity. So, I really like to see that for you for sure. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this breathe card and this here and now card. I feel like you're kind of getting a break. Again, I got something about vacation. It might not be true for all of you, but if you've been hoping for a vacation and you're like, I can't take a vacation, you might actually be getting some sort of benefit or opportunity to take a vacation. So I really love that for you here. I also feel like you're just getting a chance to kind of like recharge your battery. Some of you might be getting a little bit of a break from the universe. And, again, I feel like it's a good thing. You have the Queen of Wands, the Chariot, and the King of Pentacles. The King of Wands the Queen of Wands is about being bold and assertive. And guess what else? She has this sunflower right here. Sunflowers point towards the sun. So she represents needing to move towards your happiness. And not enough people do this because, people have jobs that they hate. If you have a job that you hate, then you are not moving towards happiness. And it's a hard thing to do because, you might be thinking like, I can't afford to, do something that makes me happy, but I would say you need to. So I would boldly move towards the things that bring joy, happiness, abundance, growth, all those things into your life. She also doesn't care what people think, and that's the whole point of her, is that she does something regardless of what people feel around her. She does something because she wants to do it. So again, another kind of like clue, even though it's showing up in the good stuff, I would again, protect yourself from other people's opinions. And you have the Chariot, making yourself unique. The Chariot is definitely a card of the times right now. The Chariot is leaving that city behind him, and he's leaving that city because it's crowded and there's too much going on. He needs to make himself unique. So I feel a lot of you are kind of, maybe you need to do things that make you unique, that make you stand out, that make you, get attention, that make you different. Those are the things I'd be doing regardless of judgments that you could be receiving, because that's where your success is. And again, momentum. I would pick one thing that you do in your life, and I would say how can I improve upon this every single day? Again, follow the Chris Rec channel, because starting soon I'm doing videos there all about making 1% improvements, all about the experiments I do every single day of my life, because it's changed my life and it does not take much more work. It's no more work than what I was doing before. This just works, right? And it's the same amount of work to just try something different every single day in the areas of my life that matter. So I'm always experimenting, always trying new things, always paying attention to feedback and what works, and this leads to permanent positive change. The King of Pentacles is the card of permanent positive change, and so I feel you could be making permanent positive change. You could also be attracting a Taurus, by the way, or an earth sign into your life. You showed up in everybody else's reading. So, Virgo and Taurus. So if you're looking for love, it definitely could be a Virgo or a Taurus coming in for you, or they could have earth in their chart or something. It could also be a fire sign. And here you go. With the Queen of Wands, you have the King of Wands. There you go. So very fiery, passionate connection. If you're looking for love, definitely I feel there's a lot of desire between you and a person. Could be a Leo or just a fire sign in general. You have 2 Leo cards here. So take it how it resonates, but it looks pretty good. With the Chariot, you have the Knight of Cups. Yes, Knight in Shining Armor. Could involve travel. So again, if you are looking for love, this could be something that is long distance. So there you go. The other thing that I would say is that the Knight of Cups, again, needs to plant seeds. Normally he has a water in front of him and he's standing in the desert. So it kind of suggests that you might have an idea, a dream, and you might think you don't have the resources necessary, but actually you do. You just have to plant seeds and they will grow. With the King of Pentacles, you have the Moon. Some of you are a little bit uncertain about your financial future is what I would say here, or something like that. So, I feel like you need to pay attention to your finances. But what I would also say is I do feel like that we are in a time where people could be really worried about, the financial future based off what's going on in the news and all this other stuff. And it's okay, you could worry about that a lot, or you could just do what you can right now. And I encourage people to do what you can with what you got right now. It's if you worry too much about the future, you're worrying about things that could happen, might never happen, right? So it's and if you prepare and do as much as you can right now, then if it does happen, you don't have to worry about it. If it doesn't happen, then you'll have grown a bunch, right? So just keep working. Don't get caught up in the news and stuff like that. You have this chair filled that says someone new is entering into your life. We kind of already know this, that there's definitely could be love coming in for you. You have this wedge. It says someone is trying to come between you and a friend or something you want. So, again, I would be careful of anything toxic or any energy vampires, anything weird here with that Thief card. You have this handshake. It says a meeting with a stranger could be important. Yes, if you're meeting, new people who are positive, I definitely feel that could be good for you. You have this lion card. It says time to act. Yes, the whole entire reading was basically saying that it's time for you to take action on something you want to create or something that you should create. So I would get moving. No other way to say it. You have this lobster. It says a financial pinch. I would keep an eye on your finances. Can I get clarity on that? You have this ear. It says good news. So if you've been in a financial pinch, I feel like you could be improving your finances. But again, I wouldn't be spending like crazy. I say this to everyone right now. But again, I would also do as much as you can right now. This looks really good here, Capricorn. So thank you for being here and definitely enjoy your week.